welcome to Darlington. Tonight we're here for the NAOR Cup Series Season 6, race number 14 of the season. And tonight we're here at Darlington at the fabled Lady in Black, as you like to call it. It's these drivers getting ready to battle out for tonight for 168 laps. But first we got to get the qualifying. I'm Aaron Brown, happy to join you alongside, happy to join you guys, join you viewers tonight for this race as we're getting ready to go for 168 laps. Get ready for our DI9 Designs Pole qualifying, as just wrapped up practice. So top of the board in practice was Giovanni Klein, so we'll see what he can do here in qualifying. These drivers have 5 minutes or 2 laps to set their 1 lap, or 5 minutes to set their 1 lap of qualifying. It also is a throwback night as well for these drivers. We're going to get ready to go racing, and we're going to see some nice throwbacks out there tonight. But Giovanni Klein on that 5 machine, that she's a design machine. He was the fastest in practice. We'll see if he can back it up here in qualifying. So Giovanni Klein getting ready to set up his lap. Going to ride that outside wall a little bit. Going to try and get the run off at turn number 4 here. We'll see how well this lap is for Giovanni Klein. Down into turn number 1. He's going to go down pretty much right on that dotted white line. Let's go under a little bit, but he's going to put it right up against the wall into turn number 1 and 2. Off of turn number 2, down the back straightaway. Looks like he had a pretty good 1 and 2 there. Now into 3 and 4, he's going to roll the middle of the racetrack here, kind of wrap the bottom a little bit more. Off of turn number 4, Giovanni Klein to complete his lap. It will be a 29.054. That will go P1, as that is he's the first driver to set a lap time there. Donnie Kite on his lap, off of turn number 2, off of turn number 4 for Donnie Kite. Maybe tag the wall there just a tad bit. Is it going to count? 29.047. Yes, it will. He'll go to the top of the board only by 8,000, but the Josh Adams tops to the top of the board. He'll run at 29.012. Mark Hisweather, he'll slot into P number 4 there. Brock Morris, he went off the track. He had his lap going. The lap time starting to flood in there. Mike Campbell goes to 7th. Donnie Kite still sitting in 2nd. Josh Adams still on the pole. Here comes Kyle Taub, as Hunter Sr. is out of the racetrack a little bit further up in front of him. So Hunter Sr., we'll see what he can do here in qualifying on his lap. A little bit higher off at turn number 2. Had to get out of it a little bit, so he didn't hit the outside wall. He's going to go down the back straightaway, entering turn number 3. Senior's going to run the middle, enter a little bit higher up on the racetrack, but he's going to try and wrap that bottom as best as he can. Looks really strong there through 3 and 4. Does look like he's tight off of turn number 4. Coming to the line is Hunter Sr. Will it be enough for pole? It'll be a 29.307. It will not be pole. Set him in P6. Kyle Top, the next one across the line here. That will be a 29.013, and that will be just seconds just behind Josh Adams. Jonathan Parker, what will he do? You don't really see him out in front all the time, dominating every race he's in. Dylan Chapman to the top of the board. Jonathan Parker, 28.979. He'll go to the top of the board. And Jonathan Parker is currently setting on the pole, but Jonathan Jurgensmeyer, what does he have to do? Hunter Peach through off to number 2 now. So Jonathan Jurgensmeyer and Hunter Peach, 2 of their drivers on their lap. So Jurgensmeyer beat Jonathan Parker and put it on the pole, coming to the line off of turn number 4. Jurgensmeyer, 28.909 to the top of the board for Jurgensmeyer. 100 piece to the line. Is it going to be enough? No, it won't. 29.184. He'll slot into P number 10. Now left 2 drivers out on the racetrack. 2 drivers out to set their lap. It'll be Jose Ruiz as he's coming to start his first lap right here, and Steven Maggio rolling out of pit road. So Jose Ruiz, he's set his lap first, down into turn number 1. Oh, but he's getting into the wall, and that's going to be his lap. Is going to be over there for Jose Ruiz. That's going to be invalidated lap time. So you have 17 drivers attempting a lap here. Everyone's going to attempt to qualify. Brock Morris and Jose Ruiz will be 2 with invalidated lap times. But here comes Steven Maggio. What can he do here on his qualifying lap? He's got a minute left. He's got plenty of time. Clips that apron just a little bit, but he's going off the wall. He's going to get into the wall as well, and that's going to put him out of there. So the Brock Morris, Jose Ruiz, and Steven Maggio all invalidated their lap times. So that means Jonathan Jurgensmeyer will put it on the pole and take our DI9 Designs Pole Award winner. Steve Maggio, we'll see what he does at the line here. It would have been a 29.447, so it would have put him 14th anyways with that lap. So Steve Maggio will qualify. Will have to work his way from the tail end of the field, but Jonathan Jurgensmeyer, our DI9 Designs Pole Award winner, as Jonathan Jurgensmeyer puts it on the pole. Now qualifying, just wrapping up here from Darlington, and we're going to get ready to go for 168 laps here tonight. And these drivers getting ready to go. They're going to grid up and getting ready to roll off here from Darlington. Jonathan Jurgensmeyer will be on the pole. The camera's got all messed up again. There we go. Jonathan Jurgensmeyer will be our DI9 Designs Pole Award winner, but we'll now go through our Coulter's Cards starting lineup here from Darlington. As we saw, our pole winner goes to Jonathan Jurgensmeyer with a 28.925, just about 400s faster than the 48 of Jonathan Parker. Jonathan Parker will start second tonight. Starting third will be the 99 of Dylan Chappell. The 12 machine of Josh Adams will start fourth tonight. Top four within a tenth of a second there. Actually, top five within a tenth of a second. Kyle Todd, he'll start fifth tonight in the 3 machine, and Donnie Kennedy, he'll start sixth in that 2 machine. See all the throwbacks as well. Is Giovanni Klein with that 5 machine throwback. The Sheezy Designs, he'll start 7th tonight. And Josh Arnold will start 8th in that 22 machine. Starting 9th will be the 24 Cole Steiner. And Hunter Peach will start 10th and right at our top 10 in that 20 machine. Chase McGuire will start 11th at a 9 machine. Hunter Sr. will start 12th. Starting 13th will be the 15 of Mark Kissenweather. Mike Campbell will start 14th, the last driver to set a lap time and not invalidate their lap time. Starting 15th will be Stephen Maggio in the 51 machine. Jose Rose will start 16th in that 23 machine. And running our 17 car field tonight will be the 05 of Brock Morris. So these drivers getting ready to roll off and getting ready to go racing here for 168 laps, two stages as well, but there is no caution, so it's for lap 42 and lap 84 for the stages. So you assume they'll stay out a little bit longer. So you assume they'll probably stay out a little bit longer. Try and stay out for the stage. Fuel can go to about 52 to 56, depending on if you're shifting or not, because we will have an extra pace lap here. So these drivers have about 52 to 56 laps on fuel, depending on if they're shifting or not. You can shift in 3 and 4, but you also not shift, and you could change the balance of the race car a little bit as well. It can make you get a little bit more looser. If you 5th gear, it makes it a little bit easier to drive off that right rear, and it kind of starts to tend a little bit looser towards the end of the run, especially really in 3 and 4. Drivers, so with 168 laps, you can take that 168, you'll have about 52 to 54 laps. So you can split the race in thirds with 56 laps. So you can only make it, you can make a 2-stop race if you can make it 56. So we're going to be on a tight 2-stop race here. So we're gonna see kind of how this fuel mileage will play out tonight. We will try to save for for a little bit. You can try and save it if you can stretch it. It's about that would be about 74 laps on a full tank. But these drivers 75% fuel tank, so they can stretch it about 56 possibly. So if they're not shifting, kind of staying in 5th gear, you can maybe make it on a 2-stop race. So we'll kind of see that fuel mileage be a factor tonight with a 2-stop race to the finish. We'll see how this plays out. Who will be able to win their way a win here at the Lady in Black tonight at the track Too Tough to Tame. Jonathan Jurgensmeyer on the pole, and Jonathan Parker will try and pick up another win this season. Dominant points lead right now for Jonathan Parker. We'll see if he can extend that tonight. Jonathan Jurgensmeyer, he'll lead him to green with Jonathan Parker to his outside here off of turn number 4. Going to roll to the restart zone. And we're getting ready to go underway here from Darlington. And we're underway for race number 14 of the season. Off of turn number 2, everyone quickly settles in line, single file down the field, pretty much all the way back to about 7th is Josh Arnold as he single files out, one car all the way towards the back into the wall. Kyle Taub, Chase McGuire around off of turn number 2, as meanwhile calamity's still happening in front of them as Hunter Peach getting up into the outside wall in 3 and 4 there. This one goes by, and Steven Maggio up to 12th already after to start back in 15th. Messed up qualifying lap. There's a little bit of front end damage. What do you have in contact with Chase McGuire earlier there? Driver settling in, getting kind of, now they have to settle back behind the dirty air. Dirty air definitely going to be a big factor tonight. Down the back straightaway, Dylan Chappell hounding on that back bumper of Jonathan Parker. Now, ideally, you want to try and pass on the outside here in 3 and 4. That's the way to go. You carry that speed around the outside in 3 and 4, and kind of power down off turn 4 and carry that momentum on the high lane in 1 and 2. So we'll see how well these drivers can pass. Track is definitely going to be of big importance tonight, especially as you see the clean air and track for Jonathan Jurgensmeyer. He's away already by about 7/10 of a second. Now we'll see if he can kind of save his tires a little bit better, because now he's going to have kind of a visual to see how he can back off. But we'll see if Jonathan Parker, how well he can save his tires into this one. The question is, who can stretch it to about 56 laps? That's going to be the key number. If they can stretch it to about 56 laps, they can make it on a 2-stop. And Dylan Chappell really loose off turn number 2. He's going to collect it, and he's going to slide back behind Giovanni Klein. Good save there for Dylan Chappell. It doesn't cost him a lot of time. Josh Arnold's right behind him, and then was pretty much nose to tail back here, about 6th on back. As Mark Kissler, he's been strong here at Darlington in the past, here in the NAOR Cup Series, so he's going to try and work his way up. He gets by Hunter Sr. there. Hunter Peach trying to follow his way on the bottom. Steven Maggio right behind Hunter Peach as well. Jurgensmeyer out to about a second lead over Jonathan Parker and Josh Adams. Now Josh Adams gets promoted to 3rd there as Dylan Chappell made his mistake a few laps ago off turn number 2. Close battle on the racetrack back here with 9th between 8th and 9th between Cole Snyder, Josh Arnold, Mark Kissenweather. These 3 drivers pretty much bumper to bumper. But Cole Snyder way up the racetrack, puts it right up against the outside wall. Going to try and get the run, but a little bit slower. It's not as fast as it is in real life, ripping that outside wall. Down the back straightaway off of turn number 2. Cole Snyder trying to hold on to that 8th place position. Mark Kissenweather try and cut under the inside lane. Mark Kissenweather a little bit loose there. He'll hold on to it. Also kind of like how it was last week at Daytona, and same with this week at Darlington. These drivers have the official system, the IRC official system. So they use that at practice and kind of get a good feel of how the car is going to handle during the race. Well, you don't get to see that. have a kind of a good indicator in those officials, and they can get a good practice how it's going to handle, how it's going to drive. Is it going to turn tighter or is it going to turn looser? It could be slightly different based on the heat, but it gives you a really good understanding of how it's going to drive. Marcus Weather, he's been at some of those officials this week. Won at top split NIS on Wednesday afternoon, so Marcus Weather definitely no stranger to how this is going to drive tonight. He's going to work his way from the back, so we'll see if Marcus Weather, if he can do what he did on Wednesday. As right now, currently running in 9th for Marcus Weather. Okay, can't really find his way by Cole Snyder just yet, but tire wear will start to come into play after about 20 or 25 laps or so. We'll really start to see how those tire wear, who will kind of move up through the field, who would be the comers, who will be the goers. Josh Adams staying about 3/10 back, just kind of staying within that dirty air margin. That's pretty much what it is. But Josh Arnold closest battle here with Giovanni Klein, but about 6 long back. This is kind of the mid-pack of the field in a way. About 6 long back, all the way, Giovanni Klein all the way back to about Hunter Senior. That's pretty much the battle for that 6th place spot in a way. Kind of nose to tail. Each driver's trying to find their way by, but Josh Arnold is going to get his nose to the outside of Giovanni Klein here off of turn number 4. He's going to stay side by side, and we'll see if Giovanni Klein is going to try and slap behind Josh Arnold. Cole Snyder is going to take advantage of that as well. And Mark Kisweather also gets to the outside of Hunter Peach, so Mark Kisweather makes that move there. Cole Snyder going to around the outside off of turn number 2. Can't do it. He's going to be able to do it, but Giovanni Klein get a little bit wiggly off of turn number 2. And Mark Kisweather going to take that spot as well. Oh, but on the contact with Hunter Peach at turn number 3. Giovanni Klein hard on the outside wall. Had contact with Hunter Peach down the back straightaway, trying to slot back in line. And Giovanni Klein heavily damaged, and that's going to take him out of this one. Heavy wheel damage to that right front. He does not have a meatball flag, but he has heavy wheel damage. Oh, and that's going to put him straight in the outside wall. Giovanni Klein going to be done for the night after that one. Let's take a look at what happened. So Giovanni Klein all here off of turn number 2. Get a little bit wiggly, so he's got a little wiggle off of turn number 2. So he's trying to slot up in line behind Hunter Peach. Hunter Peach trying to drive to the outside. Drove and he got to the right rear and just took it right in the outside wall. Made a little contact, and now Giovanni Klein pretty much going to be done for the night after that one. Josh Adams still sitting in P number 3 right now, staying about 4/10 back from Jonathan Parker. Dylan Chappell up to 5th now. Josh Ronald sitting there in 6th. Cole Snyder in 7th. Marcus will try to work his way up. He's out Hunter Peach going to go around his outside as Marcus with a not a great exit up turn number 2. And Hunter Peach around the outside lane. Not going to be able to get there to the outside of Marcus Weather to make that move. Brock Morris found his way by Jose Ruiz. These two drivers both have validated a lot of times in qualifying, so they had to work their way up from the back of the field and didn't have the track position right off the start. So now they're both working pretty well so far. They both worked up to 11th and 12th. Steve Maggio up to 13th. So track position is playing a factor. They're both kind of all far their back a little bit, but there's a lot of heavy front end damage there for Steve Maggio. That could be really struggling and make him a lot tighter. So far, this battle comes with about 7 hauling back. They're all staying about 2/10 within each other. No one really making too many moves just yet. Gap still about a second for the race lead for Jonathan Jurgensmeyer over Jonathan Parker. the turn, number 4. Mark Kissenweather. Moves the gap into Cole Snyder. Can't do it just yet. It looks like, I think, Mark Kissenweather maybe had a accordion on the restart, because that back, he's got rear end damage back into that race car. So I think maybe Steve Maggio got out of the back bumper Mark Kissenweather on the initial start, and that's why they both have damage. But Hunter Peach going to go around the outside of Mark Kissenweather. Kissenweather to fight back on the bottom, but Peach going to hold to the outside. He's going to get the run. And Hunter Sr. going to try and take that spot away from Mark Kissenweather as well. Just with starting to fall back a little bit. Wonder if that rear end damage is really starting to affect him now. Could be making him a little bit looser. He's a lot lower on the racetrack. Mark Kissenweather falls back to 10th behind Hunter Sr. He's starting to struggle here early on now after about 20 laps. Cole Snyder about a 10th back from Josh Arnold. He run the outside in turn number 3 and 4. But Arnold able to pull away through the with the short distance on the inside lane. Still trying to hold on, not lose any more time. Hunter Sr. trying to fight his way by Hunter Beach. So the 200ers battling out for that 8th place spot. Brock Morris, Stevie Maggio closing in on Jose Ruiz. But also we'll have to see, because is anyone saving a little bit of fuel? It's maybe staying in 5th gear. As we know, it could be a really tight on a two-stop strategy for this race. If they can stretch it 56 laps per run, they can make it on a two-stop race, and the 56 laps is probably the longest they expected to go. So we can really see maybe a two-stop strategy play out tonight. If someone saves a little bit of fuel, it can make it happen. But also the track will get faster as we progress through the night. As the track cools down a little bit, let's take a look at our weather. Kind of see what it is right now. 7 o'clock in the sim. 89-degree track temp, 82-degree ambient temperature, partly cloudy, only really low winds with 73% humidity. But that track temp starting at 89. Let's kind of look of how it was, the history of it so far. As you see in practice, it was a lot hotter and it dropped down a lot. About 17 minutes ago, the ambient temperature dropped a few degrees. That was also kind of in qualifying, so qualifying dropped a little bit. But it's now 89-degree ambient temperature. We'll kind of keep an eye on that throughout the night. Jonathan Jurgersmeyer still leads about 0.7 of a second over Jonathan Parker. Parker slowly starting to close that in, but now Parker's also opened the gap up to Josh Adams. Donnie Kite about 2.5 seconds back out of that top 3, so kind of the top 3 pretty much gone from the rest of the field. The rest of the field kind of all together within about a half a second of each other. But now Mark Kissenweather moved that way up the racetrack. Is actually Hunter Sr. big issues falling all the way back to 14th. Let's take a look at what happened here with Hunter Sr. So it looked like off of turn number 2 had a big moment off of turn number 2 here. Let's take a look. He was right behind Hunter Peach down into turn number 1. Backed off the corner a little bit, trying to get the run onto Hunter Peach. He's got Mark Kissenweather right on his back bumper. It looked like he tried to cut to the inside of Hunter Peach, got loose off of turn number 2, and big wiggle there, and that just cost him a lot of spots. He'll fall behind Kyle Taub back to 14th. Mark Kissenweather, though, able to benefit from that. He'll jump back up to P9 as he tries to hunt down Hunter Peach now. So Mark Kissenweather starting to come back alive here. He gets the outside wall off of turn number 2, and that's going to cost him some more time. Jose Ruiz not close enough to make a move, though. Marcus with him really starting to struggle. Get that rear end damage, maybe making that car a little bit looser for him. Maybe burning off his right rear a little bit. He's really starting to wiggle in the middle of 3 and 4. So just with really starting to struggle a little bit with that rear grip of the race car. I wonder if he's kind of staying in that 5th gear, maybe trying to save a little bit of fuel, because that tends to happen. Staying in 5th gear makes it a little bit easier to drive off the right rear. Just really kind of back off the corner a little bit more. traffic just slightly a little bit deeper, but it also drives up the racetrack a little bit. It's going to be helping. So that staying in fifth gear could help you save your right front a little bit better. Beach still holds that 8th place spot over Mark Kissenweather. Dylan Chappell now, he's hunting down Donnie Kite for that 4th place spot. He's had a really good run here off of turn number 2, it looked like. Run off a little bit as he got tight off the exit. But Dylan Chappell was running up in 3rd early behind Jonathan Parker, had a moment off turn number 2, lost a lot of time, fell behind Donnie Kite, fell behind Josh Arnold. He's able to get that spot back, and now he's trying to regain that ground that he lost. Marcus, he's been kind of coming and going throughout this entire run. He's has some flashes of pace, but then also starting to fall back a little bit. So he's having a few mistakes that cost him a little bit of time. He's battled the back 3 of this pack here. So Stephen Maggio, Kyle Taub, and Hunter Sr. Just knows the tail. Kyle Taub going to try and get to the outside of Stephen Maggio. Was able to do it off turn number 4. This battle kind of towards the back half of this pack. Still all relatively staying pretty close here. Dylan Chappell not able to close the gap down any closer to Donnie Kite. So you have a lap machine there. It's running line. He was able to fix some of the damage. He's 17 laps down. Chase McGuire is still running as well, 15 laps down, being involved in a first lap wreck. So those two still running, but they're going to just try and pick up some points. Some other drivers maybe have some misfortune tonight. Hunter's here, try and chase down here. Kyle Taub. Kyle Taub just trying to find his way by Stephen Maggio. Hunter's here trying to do the same thing to Kyle Taub here. Down the front straightaway, Stephen Maggio still holds that spot over Kyle Taub. Josh Arnold trying to close that gap down to Dylan Chappell, close it a little bit off the exit of 2, but then starting to pull back away. The runs off the corner. Taub and Hunter Sr. and Stephen Maggio all staying really close together. It's kind of a gap, a few gaps of a couple tenths that these drivers can't really break that dirty air bubble of the driver in front of them. They can't find their way by. Kind of how it seems to be. Just can't find their way around with the dirty air. Just can't get enough of a run. They're pretty much just kind of waiting for a mistake to happen for the driver in front of them. If they don't have a mistake, they can get around them somehow. Maybe try and drive into the bottom, and then 3 drive around the outside, and 3 you try and dive into turn 1. That's can be very dangerous though. Trying to go side by side with 2, so high speed, so narrow up there. As 3 and 4 is a little bit slower, you kind of have a little bit more lanes to work with. You kind of wrap the bottom, you kind of run the outside a little bit. But in 1 and 2, you pretty much only have that one line. It's so fast. You gotta keep your speed up, so it makes it much more difficult to try and stay side by side, make it pass into turn number 1. Kyle Taub now, he's got under attack here from Hunter Sr. Hunter Sr. right on his bumper into turn number 1. He's gonna back off, gonna try and focus on the run through the corner. See if Hunter Sr. can get a really good run on Kyle Taub here off turn number 2, but he's going to have that dirty air in front of him, make it a little bit more tough. So Kyle Taub a little bit wiggle. But Kyle Taub, though, He's going to come down pit road. So Kyle Taub going to make a 3-stop race tonight every 40 laps. So he's going to he knew he wasn't going to get any stage points. A stage is coming up here, but Jonathan Jurgensmeyer pulled away about 1.2 seconds over Jonathan Parker. But Jonathan Jurgensmeyer here, not too far away from the end of stage 1. So you could see some of a few different strategies played around the stage. If they can't make it to the 56 to make it a 2-stop race, you can maybe try to pit a little bit earlier, pit after 40 laps or so. Maybe make a 3-stop race to the finish. 3-stop race. Make it a 3-stop race, you go about 46 laps on fuel. And split that evenly. So there would be staying out past the stage. Oh, we have a caution out of the racetrack. Our first caution of the night. Is it Kyle Taub off the exit? It's Hunter Peach in the middle of 1 and 2. And that brings in our first Jones Paint and Designs caution flag of the night. Hunter Peach, and that really hurts Kyle Taub. Hunter Peach did pit too. Mike Campbell as well. Mike Campbell 12 laps down. Let's take a look at what happened. Oh, Giovanni Klein making contact, entering turn number 1 there. And Hunter Peach just kind of spinning it back up the racetrack to bring out the caution maybe. And Mike Campbell got into Giovanni Klein. As Dylan Chappell just came down pit road as well. Mike Campbell's spinning on the apron. I wonder if they looked a little bit slow there. I wonder if the yellow happened a little bit earlier. So Giovanni Klein off the exit of the corner there. Coming off the exit of pit road. Mike Campbell up in side by side with Mike Campbell. So Mike Campbell got in the wall, made a little bit of contact. So that's why he was so slow. Mike Campbell got really out of shape there. And Hunter Peach got out of shape with Giovanni Klein. Giovanni Klein just right hooked Hunter Peach into turn number 1. So not happy, just intentionally wrecking him there. And Hunter Peach just spins it out there on the apron. So Giovanni Klein not happy. Intentionally hits Hunter Peach and spins him around. It brings in our first caution tonight. So ruins all the strategy we saw in the race. Really unfortunate there. Just Giovanni Klein just kind of ruining that entire strategy there. And that brings out our first caution of the night. And that also ends the stage, which does go to Jonathan Jurgensmeyer. So Jurgensmeyer still wins the stage. So he won it under pit road. So Jonathan Jurgensmeyer wins our first stage. And pretty much it kind of acts as a stage caution, but we do not have stage yellows this season, as we saw last season. So we're lined back up. We're going to restart here on lap number 45. So now that pretty much makes this a 2-stop race, a safe 2-stop race to split it every 45 laps or so. So we'll see how this plays out for the rest of this race. But Jonathan Jurgensmeyer, he'll lead him back to green after just winning the stage. So lead John Parker into turn number 1. The pace car is off. The pace truck is off. It down back into the restart zone. Green flag back in the air. Jonathan Jurgensmeyer into turn number 1. Get that clean air, gets a trap position. He's going to try and pull away from the rest of the deal like he did in that first run. Jonathan Parker trying to get the run off in turn number 2. Maybe try and make a lunge at it here, but not close enough. Josh Adams going to try and work that outside lane to Jonathan Parker. Can't do it. So on top 4, starting to pull away a little bit for the rest of the field. About a 4/10 of a second gap back to Cole Snyder. Back kind of single, everyone single files it back, gets back single file pretty quickly. Josh Adams working the outside now of 3 and 4, trying to get the outside of Jonathan Parker. Not going to be able to do it just yet. Just a good run off turnover 4, but now early in the run, so now we have to wait for that tire resistor to kick in once again. Josh Adams losing outside lane advantage, but that can be detrimental. That really could hurt your right front tire if he runs that outside lane. Working well for Josh Adams right now, still sitting in third. Jonathan Parker a lot better here on this second run compared to the first run. Hasn't fallen off to Jonathan's tire just yet. Jonathan's lead the field. And Hunter Beach being out of that one, he's still in pit road, 7 laps down. So after that wreck, he's done. So far, Triggersmeyer still leads. He's led every lap so far tonight. Cole Snyder's going to the outside now. Josh Arnold. Oh, sorry, Donnie Kite there. But now Josh Arnold, Brock Morris, Steve Maggio all the way back over Brock Morris here into turn number 1. Cole Snyder blinking out a little bit there, so maybe that's what happened. Into 3, but now off of turn number 2. Down the back straightaway, Maggio's going to try and have a good run. Get to Brock Morris. Brock Morris, one of the drivers that did not get the qualifying lap he wanted. Wrecked in qualifying. Now he's up to 7th, so really good run for Brock Morris. Had to work his way up the tail end of the field. Let's take a look at our most positions gained of the night. Most positions gained, Brock Morris up 10 spots. Stephen Aggio up 7. Jose Rose up 6, and Mark Kissler now up 5, and Cole Snyder, of course, those are swapping between us. Cole Snyder, that's when Mark Kissler got to the inside of Stephen Maggio. So Stephen Maggio trying to hold on to that 8th place spot for Mark Kissler. Both those drivers able to fix their damage from earlier in the race. They had I think it was Maggio got in the back bumper for Mark Kissler at the very start of the race. Both of them got bumper damage from both of that, but they both fixed it. And back running 7th and 8th, the 8th and 9th now. Into the outside of Brock Morris. Morris is going to get held up by Arnold a little bit through the center of 3 and 4 there. Maggio with a really good run. Does he have the ball moving to turn 1? He does. He's going to go down to the turn number 1. Morris is going to try and let him out of the way, just let him by. Doesn't want to try to force the issue there. And Mark Kessler going to take advantage of that as well, but now Brock Morris going to try and cross him over down the back straightaway. It's turn 3. We'll see if Morris maybe can try to pull the slider into 3. He's going to take his time on the bottom and try and wrap the bottom and try and clear Kissweather off the corner. So this mash to the gas to the center, just trying to get around him, but he gets loose off at turn number 4. He'll hold on to it. Mark Kissweather will take that 8th place spot away. So now he's going to try and chase back down Stephen Maggio. Brock Morris loses 2 spots there. This got Jose Ruiz on his bumper. Now, as we go up front, let's go kind of on board with Jonathan Jurgensmeyer here. Kind of see how he's running this racetrack. Just staying in 5th gear there, getting nice off the throttle, but it's just keeping it nice and patient on the throttle, just trying to save that right front tire. At turn number 3, he does shift to 4th gear, kind of wraps that line there, the dotted white line on the bottom of the racetrack. grabs that line, slides off the racetrack. Just maximizing the exit, maximizing the time, just being very patient with the throttle. It works out for now. Jurgenmeyer still holds the lead. About 4/10 over Jonathan Parker, so he's not as pulling away as he was that first run he had. So still staying about a half a second away. So far, Jurgenmeyer still holds the lead, holds the battle back with Mark Kisswiller still. Jurgenmeyer working the outside of Stephen Maggio, but getting a little bit tight up the racetrack. Jonathan still leads about half a second over Jonathan Parker. Mark is trying to work his way up. He's trying to use that outside lane. One thing over Travis is working the outside lane. That's really kind of putting heat in that right front. We're starting to see he's starting to get really tight off turn 4. They'll lose the time, not really get the run as you'd expect off the corner. Steve Maggio, he's working that back over Josh Arnold. Josh Arnold's not working the back over Cole Snyder, so these four are kind of backing up towards each other here. That's a good run in the 3. He's just trying to take it back to the outside lane, but now Maggio sees that. He's going to try and go up the racetrack, try and get to the outside of Arnold, but not going to be able to do it. They're both going to get a good run down the front straightaway here. Give him enough of a run to make a move on the car in front of him. Just kind of waiting for a mistake to happen as Cole Snyder gets into the wall there. That's going to allow Josh Arnold to get to the inside off turn number 2, but he's not able to take it. But that stacks up Maggio, and now Kisswiller going to go to the bottom. So now Kisswiller fights on the inside lane, going to try and get clear of Steven Maggio if possible. He's fighting the bottom, but Maggio's going to have to run on the outside lane to maybe try and fight this off. But Arnold's going to be checking him up off corner exit as Cole Snyder has blinked out, but he blinks out behind Josh Arnold and the rest of them, so now they all get a spot as Cole Snyder falls behind Mark Kisswiller as having some internet connectivity issues there. He falls behind Mark Kisswiller, and Kisswiller cannot get moved on Maggio, and Arnold holds both off. Cole Snyder losing 3 spots through there. One of them got loose kind of when he blinked out, teleported back in behind him, so I think he may have got loose in turn 4 there. He was blinking out, and that just made it a lot more sketchier. That's why Arnold just kind of took his time and just kind of checked up a little bit. Doesn't want to get hit, doesn't want to get wrecked in our netcode or an incident. Sent a Cole Snyder a little bit farther back. Now he's almost under attack from Brock Morris. Now we're about 20 laps away from the end of stage of number 2. See if Jurgenmeyer, he'll swap both. If he will swap both, sweep both stages tonight. Kyle Taub trying to work by Hunter Senior right now, and this for this 11th place spot right behind Jose Ruiz there, that 23 machine. Top working the outside lane, not able to get to the outside of Hunter Sr. Down the front straightaway into turn number 1. So we're pull away just a tad. Off of turn number 4, down the front straightaway. Kyle Taub. Tries to keep the inside of Hunter Sr. Not able to do it. Dylan Chappell there right behind, as Dylan Chappell actually got stuck a lap down with that caution, which Ronnie Klein intentionally wrecking Hunter Peach there. So Dylan Chappell really got trapped there with that one, so he's just at the tail end of this pack right now, sitting 1 lap down. Just right there, staying around 6/10 of a second, so it's kind of playing out a little bit similar to how it was the last run. This time out will be 100 laps to go. Marcus really trying to work that outside lane. Been wanting to work the outside all night long, and he's hit a little bit loose. I think he's starting to push a little bit loose there off the corner, just trying to force some turn out of it on the outside lane. That could be what's causing that issue for Mark Kisseweather. He's been able to hold on to it, but he's just probably keep the grip on the rear tires. So you have 26 laps into this run. Steve Andrew should have worked the outside of Josh Arnold here. I think he might get the nose there off of 4, and he will. Arnold's going to give him the space in the outside lane. And down to the turn number 1, we'll see if Arnold tries to fight it. I think he should play it safe and just let him go there, as he will. But Mark Kisseweather has to check up for that, as Arnold slots in front of Kisseweather. But now Madge going to try and chase down. He's got about 6/10 of a second to Donnie Kite. Donnie Kite having a quiet night up in the top 5. Kind of been sitting in the top 5 all night long. It's been the top 4. Pretty much been about the same, but Josh Arnold really loose. As soon as I say that, big mistake there for Josh Adams, sorry. As he's going to lose a little bit of time back to Donnie Kite. Lost about half his gap, so lost about a half a second there. So now Donnie Kite about 6/10 of a second back for that 3rd place spot. But that top 4 pretty much been the same all night long. It's been Jurgensmeyer, Parker, Adams, and Kite. The top 4 pretty much all night long. Which ordered the night in the first 10 or 15 laps. It was Dylan Chappell's up there, but he got loose off the turn 2. He fell outside the top 5 in that first run, and it's been this top 4 ever since. And they have not changed spots at all. Really, it's been the battle about the mid-pack all night long so far. But Steven Maggio, he got by Josh Arnold, so now it's between Josh Arnold and Mark Kisseweather. That's a 2-second gap back to Cole Snyder, as Cole Snyder kind of holding up the rest of the field. As Brock Morris, Kyle Taub, Jose Ruiz, Dylan Chappell, Hunter Sr. all within this pack. Dylan Chappell, reminder, he is 1 lap down. He's 30 seconds on the back over Hunter Sr. So right in front of him now. So that's the next spot up for position. But oh, we got one car blowing up. Hunter Sr. hard on the outside wall there. Oh, but Mark Kisseweather spinning on the front straightaway. Hunter Sr. That's right, goes straight into him. But Mark Kisseweather, moment off turn number 4. Wonder if he got loose and maybe overcorrected the outside wall. Oh, got loose, and that's what it's been struggling hard on the inside wall. Blows the engine up the racetrack. In the middle of the racetrack, Hunter Sr. nowhere to go. Right into the side of Mark Kisseweather. Heavy damage for both of those drivers. And Mark Kisseweather going to be done for the night after that one. And Hunter Sr. most likely definitely done for the night after that one as well. The Mark Kisseweather, you've seen that he's been struggling with the grip off of turn number 4. And that's what happens. And Mark Kisseweather going to be done for the night. But now we're going to be about 10 laps from halfway, which is also the end of stage number 2. So everyone's going to come down pit road. Dylan Chappell will get his lap back. Hunter Sr. and Marcus will also go laps down. So now we're down to 11 cars left in this one and a chance to win the race. But so far that top 4 has not been changing at all, pretty much. we'll see if they change anywhere off the pit road here. Just gonna work their way down pit road. So Jurgensmeyer gonna lead them in. We'll see if he can lead them off. We'll see if anyone tries to take 2 tires. 2 tires could be a pretty good strategy call here if you want to try and pick up some extra stage points. Looks like we have 2 drivers do it. Donnie Kite, he'll take 2. So Donnie Kite takes 2 tires. He'll be out of pit road first. Steven Maggio, I think, also took 2 tires. He was a little bit far. Actually, no, he did take 4. But Donnie Kite taking 2 tires, trying to get out in front. Get a few extra stage points here. This could work out well for Donnie Kite. If you're close around that, playoff bubble. So Donnie Kite will be the race leader. On 2 tires, he'll choose the outside lane. But Jonathan Jurgensmeyer on the inside. So we'll see how well Jonathan Jurgensmeyer on the 4 tires. If Donnie Kite might be a little bit quicker on the 2 tires, it's probably how it's going to be. Maybe towards the tail end of the run, it might be a little bit better with 4 tires. We'll see. 2 tires typically is the key. So Donnie Kite taking 2 tires, trying to get that track position, try to get a few extra stage points. We'll lean him back to green here with 8 laps to go in the stage. Donnie Kite, green flag back there. Good launch to the outside lane. Jurgensmeyer, not really great launch as Josh Adams able to team up with his teammate of Donnie Kite on the outside lane. Really good launch, but he almost got in front of Jonathan Jurgensmeyer, but didn't get through the green as well as his teammate, and he slots behind Jurgensmeyer, so Jurgensmeyer will take that spot. But Jonathan Parker slots back to 4th. Dylan Chappell has a penalty, so I wonder what that is, but we'll have to keep an eye on that. He might have to serve that. No, that didn't get cleared for him. So Jonathan Jurgensmeyer now in 2nd. We'll see how aggressive he gets for this stage win. Can he find his way by Donnie Kite? Top 4 is still the same, but now Donnie Kite is just swapped. And Johnny Kite and Josh Adams pretty much just swapped with the driver in front of them a little bit. It's not really swapped out that well, but this time by will reach 90 laps to go, and it will be 6 laps to go in the stage. Jurgensmeyer with a really good run off turn 4. We'll see. He's on 4 tires here compared to Donnie Kite's 2. Donnie Kite able to hold well with the 2 tires, just the dirty air in the track position, playing out in the clean air. Working well for Donnie Kite. Donnie Kite holding that race lead. 5 to go in stage number 2. 5 to go to halfway. Still gonna have to make maybe a 2-stop strategy to the finish. It's 2-stop race to the finish. Actually, no, I think we are within a 1-stop actually now, so it's gonna be a 1-stop race to the finish. So Donnie Kite will have to go a little bit longer on fuel. He could maybe try and play a 2-stop strategy, but now he had a big wiggle off 4. Jurgensmeyer going to drive it into turn number 1. It's going to go side by side for the race lead. 4 to go in the stage. Can Kite hold on to the 2 tires? Jurgensmeyer on the bottom. Kite going to try and get the run off the corner. He's got to check up off the corner though. Gets a little bit too out of the racetrack, but now that allows Josh Adams to get to the outside of Jurgensmeyer to try and take that spot away. Josh Adams has been strong up front. If he can get that get around Jurgensmeyer. Might be able to hold him off. So far, the clean air has been the key. Donnie K able to hold off Jurgensmeyer. But Josh Adams trying to fight on the outside, trying to get clear Jurgensmeyer for a second, and he will. So Jurgensmeyer falls back to fourth. We'll see if Adams has anything for his teammate Donnie Kite for the race lead. Maybe try to take the stage away, but it's coming to 2 to go. Donnie Kite has a 0.3 of a second gap ahead of Josh Adams. Jurgensmeyer falls behind Josh Adams for that spot. That actually brings the field a little bit closer together. Jonathan Parker closer to Jurgensmeyer. He actually is going to make a move into turn number 1, but Donnie Kite a little bit slow off of 4. Adams thought about making the move on Donnie Kite there into turn number 1. But now Jurgensmeyer off of turn number 2 has the run on Josh Adams as he's taking into 3 here. Coming to the final lap in stage number 2. This Adams, he's going to try and run the outside, going to try and get a run to take, maybe make a move on Donnie Kite for the stage win in turn number 1. He's got a good run. The top 4 pretty much all nose to tail for the stage win. Adams thinks about it, backs off. He's going to try and get the run off of turn number 2. May give a little bit too much gap here. The dirty air could make him tight off on turn number 2. This Adams, does he have enough to get the stage down the back straightaway? Kite still leads by a couple tenths over his teammate of Josh Adams. Adams going to try to fight the outside lane. He's going to not be able to drive to the outside. Jurgens going to try and fight to the bottom. Maybe try to steal second away for the stage, but it's not going to do it. Donnie Kite will win stage 2. Josh Adams will pick up second. Jurgensmeyer third. Parker in 4th, and Steven Manager right at the top 5 for the stage. We will stay green. We're halfway through this one now. 84 down, 84 to go here in Darlington. At the track, too tough to tame. Still have one more green flag stop, but the 2 tires are working well for the 2 machine of Donnie Kite right now. He still leads the field, but big loose for Josh Adams. Josh Adams going to round off turn 4. A little bit of help from Jurgensmeyer, and Josh Adams destroyed left front toe link. He's going to straight into the turn 1 wall as he's going to spin. He's going to go back up the racetrack. Is there any cars coming that could trigger the yellow? He's going to try and keep it rolling, but he's going to spin back up the racetrack. That's no caution yet. He's going to try and keep it going, but both the front tires are destroyed. He's going to back it off the racetrack and just keep it on the apron. He's going to try and drive it back. But Josh Adams, it looks like he got loose off of turn number 4. Maybe he got the air off the front bumper of Jonathan Jurgensmeyer. He got loose. Jurgensmeyer, no time to react. He dumped the air on the spoiler for Josh Adams and sent him around off turn 4. Let's take another look at this. Off of turn number 4, he looked like he got a little bit loose. The air didn't help him, and Jonathan Jurgensmeyer, no time to react, just helped him around and destroyed that left front tire. So Josh Adams is going to be done for the night after that one. He limps it back to pit road, but that does give Jonathan Parker able to get by Jonathan Jurgensmeyer for that spot as well. Let's take a look how he's able to get by Steven Mitchell fighting for that spot as well. So Jurgensmeyer, a big moment into 3 and 4 here while we were looking at that replay. Off of 4, it looks like Jurgensmeyer got a really big loose off of turn number 4, and Parker was able to take the spot away. Now Jonathan Jurgensmeyer trying to fight off Steven Maggio, and he does. So now Jurgensmeyer takes 3rd, but now we see Jonathan Parker, he's been staying around a half a second back from Jurgensmeyer all race long, but now he gets out in front of him. So now can he hold the spot away from Jurgensmeyer? We'll see how that plays out for that 48 machine later. But he's on the 4 tires trying to hunt down that 2 machine of Donnie Kite from race lead. Donnie Kite 2 tire call playing out perfectly for him right now. He still holds lead 14 laps into this run. This time by will be 78 laps to go. So we're about 22 laps out of the fuel window. 56 is a little stretch. You have to save it. Can't really be shifting. So probably the safest option. Safe window is probably around 52 to 54 to go. Probably about 50 to go is probably going to be the safe window. And that's probably where we're going to see everyone come down pit road. Maybe a little bit longer. They might go to about 45, maybe 48. We'll see how that plays out in about 22 laps. It'll be about about 25 laps. They'll be 40 laps into this run, which would put them around that 50 to go mark. So that'll probably probably we're going to see about 40 to 45 to go is probably going to see most of these drivers pit, maybe 40 to 50 to go. But we can see a pretty wide range of strategies. You could see some two tires. You could see a big undercut for some of these drivers towards the tail end of the field. Traffic seems to be of really big importance. See how that plays out. But Josh Allen's going to take it out of that one. He's now 5 laps down. We're down left to 10 competitive cars left in this race. As you only have Chase McGuire, Mike Campbell, the cars that are lap down, still running out of the racetrack. Giovanni Klein, Hunter Peach out of the racetrack, out. Mark Kissler out. Mike Campbell's still running here, 20 laps down, just trying to pick up some extra points, and still actually get Hunter Senior here. So Mike Campbell now will move up to 13. You get an extra point there. Just even if you make a mistake, make some damage, just get out and fix it. Especially if you're gonna be close in that playoff bubble. Donnie Kite holding the leads. We'll see how much longer will those two tires hold on. Last time by, he was about a tenth slower than Jonathan Parker. So Jonathan Parker just having that pace. Now, can Jonathan Parker, if he can get by Donnie Kite, can he pull away from Jurgensmeyer? He's going to have that clean air, and I think that's really what's been his downfall of the night. He just hasn't been able to find his way around dirty air of Jonathan Jurgensmeyer. They've both been similar pace, but Donnie Kite really loose off turn 4. He's going to make contact with Jonathan Parker. Donnie Kite's going to round off turn 4, and Jonathan Parker gets held up. Jurgensmeyer will go to the race lead. Kite will save it and keep it off the inside wall. Really good save, but that will take him out of the race lead. He'll fall all the way back to 10th at the tail end of the lead lap. Really big moment for Donnie Kite, as it all happened off of turn number 4. Looks like he got a little bit loose. The air on the back bumper as well. Gonna take it off the back spoiler from Jonathan Parker. Just got a little bit loose, and Parker, no time to react, kind of helped him around. He keeps it off the inside. Well, just a slight tap, but luckily he's only a little bit of damage. So I think Donnie Kite will be okay, but now he has no track position. But now that puts Jonathan Parker, as I was just mentioning, maybe if he got that clean air, could he pull away? But now he's back in the dirty air behind two drivers that have been very similar pace. Steven Maggio, he had no qualifying time, as he invalidated his lap time in qualifying, got in the wall in 1 and 2, and now he is up to 2nd. Really good drive for Steven Maggio so far tonight. Now with 71 to go, he's up to 2nd, trying to hunt down Jurgensmeyer for the race lead. So far, right now, it is Jurgensmeyer back to the race lead. He's been dominant all night long. He's got a new challenger up front with Steven Maggio in that 51 machine. Maggio's starting to show his pace here tonight, but still about 14 laps out of the pit window. Probably won't see pit window pretty much being safe at about 16 laps, maybe about 18. But we'll probably see most of these drivers pit in about 20-25 laps or so. That's when the pit window will safely open. It's kind of going to be around that halfway point of this run as well. So we'll see how that plays out. There are 25 laps into this run. 20 more laps will be 45 laps into the run. That will be with 50 laps to go. So halfway into the run's about 47 and a half. 47 laps. Probably see these drivers pit with 47 to go. I'll probably split it in half, split that final run in half, and that will be the safest run to the finish. But as time by, we complete 100 laps in this race. So down to the final 68 laps. We still have to make one more green flag pit stop. You've yet to have them tonight, as we got 2 cautions. See how the long run pace, will it work out for Jurgensmeyer again? So far, Jurgensmeyer holds the lead by about half a second, but now Jonathan Parker's going to try and hunt down Steven Maggio for the second place spot. Jurgensmeyer still only has about a 4/10 of a second gap, but Steven Maggio has kind of the same, kind of the top four have kind of been the same. Josh Adams getting wrecked out of this one. Donnie Kite getting spun out of the lead. He's still sitting back in 10th, still racing. Just now he's going to have to hope for a caution to gain some of his time back. It's kind of been like this a whole night long. The top 3 or 4, the top 2 or 3 just kind of staying within about a half a second of each other, maybe a little bit more. About a half a second to a second within each other. And that's kind of how it's been all night long. It's really been Jurgensmeyer and Parker. Now Maggio works his way up through the field, and now he's up to second, and now he's having that same pace, around the same pace. So Maggio has this pace. This seems to be having this race winning pace as well, but track is just so important. The clean air, just such a big advantage here at Darlington, especially how hard it is to pass. That's why qualifying is so important. That shows you Steven Maggio, first half of this race, he really wasn't up there. He really wasn't up in the top 5 of this race, but now he's worked his way up, and now he's got that pace, and that just makes it much more impressive. Steven Maggio started all the way to the tail end of the pack, outside the top 15. As Steven Maggio tonight, as we'll take a look at how much he's getting, up 13, easily our biggest mover of the night. Same with Jose Ruiz and Brock Morris. Those 3 drivers invalidated lap times in practice, in qualifying, and they had to work their way through the field. But now Steven Maggio, he's hunted down that back bumper of Jonathan Jurgensmeyer. He's going to try and get to the outside. He's got the nose there. Steven Maggio is trying to take the race lead away from Jurgensmeyer. He gets to the quarter panel, and now he's going to have the outside. He's going to have the preferred lane in turn 1. How deep does he drive it in? He can't drive it in too deep, but Jurgensmeyer can't either. They're maybe making a little bit of contact. Maggio trying to fight on the outside. He's really high up the racetrack. He's going to have to get out of it. They're going to make contact. Jurgensmeyer goes sideways. He's going to round to the back straightaway. Parker's going to slide through on the bottom. The caution is going to come out as Jurgensmeyer goes around off turn number 2. Jurgensmeyer, did he get the inside wall? His car looks okay, but they both make contact. Sunoco side kind of photobombed that there. Let's get a better angle here off of turn number 2 here. We'll see the TV3. So we'll have the TV1 down on the turn number 1. So they both make contact, a little bit on the entry. Maggio's trying to fight on the outside. He's really high up the racetrack. Jurgensmeyer getting tight off the corner. They both meet on the exit. Jurgensmeyer comes up the racetrack, makes contact. Parker barely avoiding that, but Jurgensmeyer just slightly tap on the inside wall. Let's take a look, let's go on board here with Jonathan Parker. Steven Maggio will maintain the race lead, but Jonathan Parker will be back up to second. Both make contact. Wow, Jonathan Parker just sliding on the bottom. He has to avoid Mike Campbell as well, but the caution has come out, so Jurgensmeyer will have to work his way from the tail end of the field. But now Steven Maggio leads them down pit road. Now we're in with 58 laps to go. It could be a stretch, but you could try to save enough to the finish. You can see some drivers trying to top it off. We're going to have 10 cars on the lead lap here. But Steven Maggio stuck in his box fixing damage, maybe? He just fit 30 seconds in the stop. A really slow stop for Steven Maggio, so that's going to promote Jonathan Parker to the race lead. But now that puts Jonathan Parker to the race lead. So that's where Jonathan Parker is dangerous. When he gets the race lead, he tends to dominate and pull away. We'll see if anyone can go out there and challenge him. Cole Slider, Donnie Kite, Jurgensmeyer, Chapel, all coming down pit road once again and topping off on fuel. We'll see who can save fuel. We're going to restart here with 56 laps to go, so we'll be right on that fuel window. Who can save enough fuel, or will we make it the whole run once again? Only 6 able to get back up to the field. We're going to lead back to the restart zone. Green flag back in the air. Jonathan Parker with a good launch. He's going to try and clear up in front of Josh Arnold already, as Josh Arnold in second. So now you have to see anyone saving, anyone not shifting, as really you can't afford to shift, especially with this tight on fuel. Steven Maggio already back up to 5th. He's going to slot back to the inside of Jose Ruiz. Going to try and work his way up to the race leader, Jonathan Parker. He's going to have a little bit of better fuel as well. See how it works for Steven Maggio. We'll see if he can go the final 56 laps to the finish. Their longest run has only been about 42 laps, which is our stage 1. Just had the caution. Jonathan Parker holds the lead right now with about 0.4 of a second over Josh Arnold. So I don't assume Jonathan Parker will try and just drive away here. He's going to try and save a little bit as well. He wants to try and save his fuel. Let's go on board with him and just see if he's saving. Let's just see if he's saving this early. We'll see. The big telltale will be if they're shifting in 3 and 4. He's not. So if he's staying in 5th gear, he knows it's a little close. You can't afford to shift, especially if you're going to try and save a little bit extra fuel. If you're shifting, that could burn easily another lap or 2 of fuel. That could really burn a lot more fuel off. So staying in 5th gear, and that could also make it handle a little bit differently as well. So if he hasn't been used to driving this, he could maybe start to struggle a little bit with his rear grip. We saw that when Mark Kissweather happened later. Mark Kissweather ended up spinning and ended up blowing his engine, hitting the inside wall, and he's been out of this one for 44 laps. So that could be a big factor. But so far, Jonathan Parker not shifting right now, just trying to save a little bit extra fuel, but he also is going to be a little bit worse on fuel compared to some of the drivers in the back, like Donnie Kite, Jurgensmeyer, Chapel, and Dylan Chapel. So we'll see if Donnie Kite, Jonathan Jurgensmeyer, Dylan Chapel they have a little bit extra fuel. They might be able to make it to the finish. So far, Jonathan Parker just kind of saving. He's not really pushing at all. I think he's just trying to keep Arnold kind of out of attacking distance, out of attacking range, and just kind of keep it clean right now. Just try and save his tires, save a little bit of fuel while he's out there. See how this final 50 laps plays out. Jurgensmeyer not really working his way through the field so far. He's actually second back from Donnie Kite, so I think Jurgensmeyer is pretty much committed to this fuel save strategy. I think he's going to try and make it to the finish. It's Cole Steiner now. He's under attack here from Donnie Kite. Donnie Kite played a 2-tire call earlier. He actually, so he topped it off on fuel. So Donnie Kite topped it off on fuel. So he'll take that spot away from Cole Snyder. Donnie Kite, he had a 2-tire strategy call at the, with about 10 laps to go in stage 2 when we had that yellow. John Parker now starting to pull away. But so far, Parker holds the lead by about half a second. Kyle Todd trying to close the gap to Josh Arnold. Staying around at just a few tenths of a second, kind of how it's been all race long between these drivers. But down the back straight away, Kyle Todd has a run on Josh Arnold. He thought about ducking down to the bottom, didn't make the move. Oh, Josh Arnold a little bit loose through the center of 3 and 4. That's all Kyle Todd to get to the back bumper. Also keep in mind, we have this fuel saving about 56 laps, but that's going to make it a little bit harder because we have the weather has been cooling down. It's down to 84 degrees. It started up at 96. Was up to 80, 98 track temp earlier, and now it's down to 84. So that's just gonna make it. That's gonna make it a little bit easier to burn fuel. That's just gonna make it harder to save, and it's gonna make it a little bit more tougher to make this on to the end. It's right there on that edge of being able to make it to the finish. Donnie Kite, first driver that it did top off right now. He's sitting in 7th. Let's take a look on board with Donnie Kite. Let's see what he's doing. Is he maybe clutching it? I don't think you really need to clutch. Just as long as you're staying 5th gear, maybe lifting and coasting a little bit. He's not shifting. He's not clutching. He's just taking his time, being patient on the throttle. He's going to try and burn the extra fuel, and also saving a little bit of fuel as well helps you save the tires. So it goes a long way. And he is a little bit farther off the pack because those drivers who topped off lost a little bit of time. Jonathan Jurgensmeyer, one of the other drivers who topped off, I think he's really going with that kind of that fuel saving. He's behind Cole Steiner, the dirty air. He's been really getting clean air. I've been struggling a little bit of dirty air right now, but Jonathan Parker now, he's opened the gap up to 2 seconds as Kyle Todd moves in front of Steven Maggio. Actually, Josh Arnold Josh Arnold, though, lost a lot of time there while we're looking on boards there. Let's take a look what happened. Looked like he lost it in the middle of 3 and 4. So the rear grip starting to fall off. Rear grip starting to go away for a lot of these drivers into 3. Let's take a look at what happened in the middle of 3 and 4. Oh, a little bit of neck code there with Kyle Taub and sent him around. He's able to save it, but that cost all those drivers a lot of time to Jonathan Parker. And that gives Jonathan Parker a much bigger buffer to save a little bit of extra fuel. Now, Jonathan Parker holds the lead by about 1 second over Kyle Taub. As Kyle Taub starting to roll that gap in a little bit, I think Jonathan Parker has really backed it off now. Steven Atchison in 3rd, Brock Morris and Jose Rose now 5th and 4th. Those two, the 3 drivers who did not invalidate their lap time in qualifying, 3rd, 4th, and 5th. Steven Atchison, Jose Rose, and Brock Morris. So those 3 have been really good to work their way up through the field. Now they have a little bit of track position. We'll see if they have anything for the race win. See if they can save a little bit more fuel. Does Jonathan Parker, does he have enough fuel? Yeah, I think he's backing off a little bit. With 38 laps to go. Yeah, stretch it a little bit longer than the guys who did top off. So it could be, just have to save just a little bit extra. We should have a little bit left to go. Still a while to go. We could see a lot of time left for a caution. John Jurgensen, I think he's really kind of committed to this fuel saving. He's back in 9th. He has not really gained time at all in this entire run. And Jurgensmeyer maybe just trying to stay in 5th gear. Maybe also is not used to staying running 5th gear in 3 and 4, but he knows he has to stay in 5th gear. He wants to make it to the end on fuel. We'll see. Does Jonathan Parker really have enough fuel to make it? I think he will. He has the gap, he has the speed, he can afford to back it off and save that extra fuel lap after lap. I think it's going to work out for him, but we'll have to see. So with 36 laps to go, see how well Parker, how well can he hold on, how well can he save the fuel. Kyle Taub running in 2nd right now, just under a second, so he is gaining the time. So he's really backed off. So Kyle Taub actually running 0.2 of a second faster than Jonathan Parker right now per lap. So Kyle Taub not really saving. I think he's trying to get to that back bumper for Jonathan Parker. Maybe try and force him to push the pace a little bit. He does not want him to use that gap to save his fuel. So it's a gap down to about 0.7 of a second to Jonathan Parker. Brock Morris still about a 10th back from Jose Rios. Can't find his way by just yet. It's about a second back to Josh Arnold. About a half a second back to Donnie Kite. And Cole Snyder is sitting back with John Jurgensen and Dylan Chappell as well. So Dylan Chappell falling back. He fell back to 10th there. There's Josh Adams still sitting on pit road, but he's been talking tonight that he was one of those drivers to contend up front all night long. Sat in the top 4 that entire race until he ended up going around off turn 4. Brock Morris in 5th. He's kind of our closest battle on the racetrack here with Jose Ruiz, but he's just taking his time behind Jose Ruiz right now. First driver at the top of the fuel, still Donnie Kite, still sitting in 7th. He's got 4 seconds back out of the race lead. So he has a little bit of extra advantage. He can push a little bit more if he really wanted to. But these drivers cannot afford to be shifting. That just burns them off a little bit too much fuel. Got down to about half a second of the race lead now. It's Kyle Taub trying to force that gap, but now he's getting that dirty air that's slowing him off a little bit. Brock Morris to the back bumper of Jose Ruiz. Still can't find his way by. And no one really being too aggressive here. They want to try and save their fuel. They want to try and save their tires. I mean, this is the final run. It could be the final run of the finish. I'm surprised I haven't seen anyone maybe try and push the pace if they thought maybe it wasn't close enough. Push the pace and just go and try and split it in half here. As we're going to reach that kind of halfway point of this run, about a few laps here, 3-4 laps. It's a 58 lap run to the finish. It's about 29 to go. So we're hitting 30 laps to go here. This time by, so we're going to be halfway in this final run. Pretty much halfway into this final run. No one has came down pit road. Everyone trying to save a little bit extra fuel, maybe trying to hope for a caution. They can't make it on fuel, but Kyle Taub, he's still running that gap down. Now he's back to about half a second, so now Jonathan Parker's picked up the pace a little bit, half a second faster than Kyle Taub. He's just under half a second. As that time by, Jonathan Parker 30.159 and Kyle Taub 30.1. Sorry, now I just updated. Jonathan Parker 30.142, Kyle Taub at 30.133. So just a hundredth or two faster per lap. That's all for Kyle Taub. So now he's in that dirty air. It's going to make it a little bit tougher to start taking time. Steve Matthews trying to close that gap down as well. But he's a little bit slower right now than our race leader, Jonathan Parker. Kind of that calming moment right now. Who will be able to save enough fuel? Everyone's just taking their time right now. Brock Moore is still sitting in 5th. Just right behind Jose Ruiz. Still about 2/10, so it's kind of been like this the whole run so far. The driver's about 2.5 seconds out of the race lead. Josh Arnold, the next driver, back in 6th. The 1.7 back from Brock Morris. And Donnie Kate's about a half a second back from Josh Arnold. So first driver that topped it off on fuel. So we'll see how is this fuel mileage going to play out. Kyle Taub down to about 3/10, but he gets into the wall in turn 1. And that's going to cost him a little bit more time. Kyle Taub, I mean, he's been hunting down Jonathan Parker. Going to force him to push the pace a little bit. So if he can get within a few tenths, if Jonathan Parker maybe makes a mistake, he can find his way by. 26 laps to go now for Jonathan Parker. Kyle Taub still holds in 2nd. About 4/10 of a second between these top two for the race lead. Kyle Taub drives it in a little bit deeper into turn number 3, though. Let's take a look. Let's go on board here with Kyle Taub and see if he's kind of in 4th gear, maybe shifting. He's staying in 5th gear. He's in 5th gear there, so Kyle Taub is trying to drive it a little bit deeper. Let's see how it affects in that dirty air. He's out of the turn 1. He's got to lift a little bit earlier. Just be patient on that right front tire. You don't want to burn off that right front tire. Still 25 laps to go. Still got to be patient with it. So halfway through this run, so quick as you're able to gain it in the first half, the quickest you're able to lose it. So Jonathan Parker, he's really backing off. As you see that, he backed off a lot in turn number 3 there. So Jonathan Parker trying to save some fuel, just trying to back up as much as possible to Kyle Taub without letting Kyle Taub be within striking distance. But Kyle Taub getting out of the wall. He's really pushing that in turn 1 a little bit much. Seeing the outside wall, but this time by 23 laps to go. Parker still saving fuel on the inside lane. Wonder if we'll go for next time by here in the 3 and 4. See if he's kind of checking up the, maybe trying clutching a little bit. Also keep an eye on Donnie Kite as well. So Donnie Kite, he's actually dropped back to about 7 seconds back. So fuel is going to be very tight. We're still going to see some fuel mileage. But this gap for the race lead really starting to close down. Kyle Taub is putting that pressure on Jonathan Parker. Jonathan Parker, he's just been backing off early. He's not clutching at all. Really, he can't afford to clutch. Kyle Taub just too close. Let's go on board here with Donnie Kite. Donnie Kite actually just gets by Jonathan Jurgensmeyer. Jurgensmeyer, he's been pushing that pace a little bit. He's now up in front of this. Actually, Donnie Kite had to go to the 4th gear there. Let's take a quick replay of what happened there. Down in the turn number 2 is, I think, Donnie Kite, just a big wiggle off at turn number 2, but Jurgensmeyer really starting to push the pace now. He saved a little bit of more fuel. Gets to the inside of Donnie Kite, but Jordan Meyer now up to 7th. As Cole Snyder actually really far off the pace. He's on 28 seconds. And same with Dylan Chappell. So I think these two made out of contact. Let's take a look at what happened. So yeah, oh wow. So Dylan Chappell and Cole Snyder both having contact. So Donnie Kite getting passed by Cole Snyder. So I think Donnie Kite maybe pushing those tires a little bit, really starting to struggle. They make contact. So down in turn number 1, Donnie Kite goes to the inside of Cole Snyder. So they both make contact. Wow, surprised that was a caution. Cole Snyder sideways and Dylan Chappell both into him. And they both spun on the apron and got back going. But they both battle for 9th and 10th. So we'll see. But they were actually just in front of a race leader. So that's what they give 38 to Jonathan Parker. But now that's going to take them out of the chance, even if they have enough fuel to make it. That's going to pretty much take them out of the chance for this race when they're going to be too far back. As the drivers have to pit, but if they just run out of fuel in the white flag, they're going to be too far back to make an opportunity. But now Steven Maggio, as now they have these race leaders now battling within those lap cars. Steven Maggio, he's closing the gap in. He's been chilling kind of right there in that 3rd place spot. Steven Maggio, pretty much will last the first challenge tonight. Didn't get the qualifying he hoped for, but Dylan Chappell up on the outside. Jonathan Parker on the bottom. He's got to choke up his exit. This could allow Kyle Todd with a good run. Dylan Chappell gets to the wall. Steven Maggio has a good run now. He's going to be a little bit farther back, but Kyle Todd's going to take it to the outside. Cole Snyder giving the dirty air to Jonathan Parker, 3 of 3 and 4. Off of turn number 4, Jonathan Parker tries to get the inside of Cole Snyder. This could hurt Kyle Todd here into turn 1, though. I think it will. Kyle Todd not going to be able to push turn number 1 as much as he'd hoped for, as he has to be really shallow through the center of 1 and 2 as he has to go by the lap machine of Cole Snyder. Steven Maggio also getting held up there as well. So Kyle Todd not able to take advantage of that there. But 17 to go. Does Jonathan Parker have enough fuel? He's had the opportunity to save a little bit while he's out in front. He's had the gap. But so far, working well right now for Jonathan Parker. 0.4 of a second in the race lead. 16 laps to go here. Parker just taking his time, staying right around there. Kyle Todd. Kyle Todd last time by was about a 0.5 tenth slower. He's trying to work that outside lane, trying to get some cleaner on the nose. He's starting to struggle with his tire wear now. He's starting to get really tight off turn 4. But which one of them, do any of them have enough fuel? Donnie Kite is the first. Now Jonathan Jerks the first driver that's hopped off on fuel. He is 7 seconds out of the race lead, so I don't know if he's got enough. Depends on these drivers who didn't top off. Have they been saving well enough to hold off that gap? So honestly, I think Jonathan Parker, he just didn't having the gap. He had a 2.5 gap at one point to really back off the pace if he needed to, and he did. And Kyle Tobb's been running him down, but he's just been keeping Kyle Tobb out of striking distance. Now with 15 to go, I think Jonathan Parker's just kind of playing games right now. I think he knows what he's got. He's got the pace if he wants to pull away, he can. But he's just trying to save a little bit extra fuel as much as he possibly can. With 14 to go, we could see a caution still, but Kyle Todd really starting to struggle with tire wear now. He's getting to the outside wall in 3 and 4. I think he's getting a little bit tight, but he's just staying about the same lap time. Last time by Parker, that time ran a 30.256, and Kyle Todd 30.212. So it's about 0.04 of a second advantage for Kyle Todd right now, but it's kind of been trading for those drivers. Question is, in 12 laps time, who will be able to park it in Pizza Wayne's Gaming Victory Lane? Will Jonathan Parker have enough fuel to make it from the lead? Kyle Taub right behind him, about 0.3 of a second still. Chase McGuire had a big incident earlier. He's just running, keeping, just trying to get some extra points. He'll get out of the way. They'll actually come down pit road just to keep it out of the way now, as he cannot gain any more spots. He can't lose a spot to Mike Campbell, so he doesn't want to get out too early. He doesn't want to. So he might just take a pit stop, maybe get some 4 fresh tires, and just get back going. This time by, it will be 10 laps to go. Who will have the fuel mileage to make it? I think one of the winners are pretty much going to be with the drivers who didn't top off. So it's going to be down, I think, to this top. I think one of the winners is going to come from this top 5. I think even if they can't make it, if they can just run out entering 3, they can coast it to the line. Maybe not. Even if they just kind of run out in the middle of 3 and 4, they can kind of coast it to the line. Even if Parker, Taub, Maggio, if they all run out, they can coast it to the line. Not across each other, but I think Donnie Kite, he's been saving a lot. He's gapped down to 11 seconds. I think he's been struggling with tire as well. Jonathan Jurgensmeyer topped it off on fuel, but he's just so far back. I think he should have to hope everyone in front of him just can't make it on fuel and has to pretty much run out down the back stretch. But I don't think if Jonathan Parker runs out in the middle of 3-4, I think he can coast it enough that Jonathan Jurgensmeyer won't be able to gain 7.5 seconds to the run of the finish, the run of the line. But now with 8 laps to go, who has enough? Parker's starting to open the gap back up. They're going to have a lap machine just in front of them. That's going to be Mike Campbell, going to go a 22nd lap down. He'll just get out of the way here off turn number 2, I'm assuming. He's already aiming it on the apron. And yeah, Mike Campbell just being smart, getting out of the way, getting out of the battle for the race lead. Top 3 within a second. Who has the most fuel? Can Parker make it? Can Taub make it? Or can Badger make it? Can make it? Can Jose Ruiz or Brock Morris make it? They're about 2.5 seconds out of the race lead. 7 laps to go for Jonathan Parker, trying to pick up another race win on the season. Kyle Taub trying to get one. Steven Maggio, though, hunting him down. Steven Maggio might have an opportunity to pick up 2nd. He's pretty much started at the tail end of the field. He had to work his way through the field. He has an opportunity to win if he saved a little bit more fuel to Jonathan Parker or Kyle Taub out in front of him. This will be a little bit quicker than Kyle Taub, but how aggressive will Kyle Taub get to defend this spot? Don't think he will give it up easy, especially with 6 to go, and this could hurt both of their cases. They start to battle a lot. That's going to allow Parker to save more, as now he's picked up to about 0.7 of a second lead for Jonathan Parker. Jonathan Parker's been dominant. He's been in the top 3 all night long, but Steven Maggio drives it in deep and trying to get to the outside of Kyle Taub. He'll lose the back end of the race car. He's getting to the outside wall. He's still losing it. He's going to hold on to it. He keeps it straight, but that's going to pretty much take him out of contention for the top 2 here. He's going to have to hope those drivers run on the fuel in front of him. But with 5 laps to go, Jonathan Parker has been up front all night long. He hasn't led the most laps. That's been the Jonathan Jurgensmeyer. But when Jurgensmeyer was leading, Jonathan Parker was in 2nd. And Jurgensmeyer wasn't leading, with the exception of Donnie Kite taking 2 tires at the end of stage number 2. It's been Jonathan Parker out in front. 4 laps to go. Does he have enough to make it? The maximum fuel window we were looking for was 56 laps. We were 54 laps into the run, so theoretically he was about 2 laps short on fuel. But that was also with under cautions. If you can save a little bit extra under yellow. He's had the gap to save under fuel. He's really started to back off the pace a little bit. He's just backing up the Kyle Taub. 3 laps to go. Does Parker have enough? I think he's had the time to back it off and save it, and I think he will be able to make it. But you never really know in racing. It's never over until it's over. It's never over until you see that checkered flag in the air. Does Jonathan Parker, does he have enough? He's really backing it off. He's just wrapping the bottom in 3 and 4, shortening the distance. 2 laps to go for Jonathan Parker. The gap is 0.8 of a second. Does he have enough? We'll have to see. He's got about a second gap to Kyle Taub. Second and a half to Steven Maggio. This time by through 3 and 4. Jonathan Parker. He will take the go time cars. 1 to go. White flag in the air here from Darlington at the track too tough to tame. The final run coming down to fuel mileage. And Jonathan Parker looking like he has enough to make it. To pick up another win, to park into the Pizza Wings victory lane once again and extend his points lead through 3 and 4. Jonathan Parker has enough fuel. He's going to pick up another win on the season, and Jonathan Parker, dominant fashion again, will win at Darlington. Everyone able to make it on fuel there. Kyle Taub picks up seconds. Steven Maggio rounds out the third. A really good drive for Steven Maggio. Had a drive from the tail end of the field tonight. And able to pick up a solid top 3 finish. Really good run from Steven Maggio. Everyone makes it on fuel. Jonathan Jurgensmeyer led the most laps tonight, but he will pick up 7. Not able to work his way through. Being a little bit too fast in that final run. But Jonathan Parker going to be able to celebrate it and burn it down once again this season. He extends his points lead. I don't even think he has enough fuel for a burnout. He just went out and parked it. We'll see how much he had left. We'll ask him how much that final run was. But Jonathan Parker parks it on the start-finish line. Picks up another race win of the season. We're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back here from Darlington. We'll be right back with our post-race interviews.
Is going to take the victory 128 laps without a pit stop.
Donnie Kite's going to get through it all and score his first career win. Saturday Night Racing League throwback at Charlotte goes to Josh Adams.
At NJBDesigns.com, we specialize in transforming your vehicle into a work of art by revolutionizing the way you see your car with the hottest trends in sim racing. Choose from a wide range of colors, textures, finishes to promote your business and sponsors in style. Whether you're looking to add a sleek matte finish, a flashy chrome accent, or a custom design that turns heads, our designers have you covered. If you want to stand out in the crowd, visit njbdesigns.com today and let our team of professionals transform your vision into reality.
Welcome back here to Darlington as we just wrapped up race number 14 of the season. Before we get to our post-race interviews, let's take a look at tonight's results here from Darlington. Jonathan Parker able to pick up another race win on the season, and he able to save enough fuel right to the very end, and he picks up the win over Kyle Taub there in second. Steven Maggio rounds at the top 3 from the tail end of the field tonight. Really good run for Steven Maggio. Well, I'll talk to him how he's able to do it, work his way up through the field. Jose Rios picks up 4th tonight. Brock Morris rounds at the top 5. Those two drivers drivers as well, able to make their way from the tail end of the field. Didn't get the qualifying they wanted, and they finished 3rd, 4th, and 5th. So really good run for all three of those drivers right there. Josh Reynolds will pick up 6th to 9th. Jonathan Jorgensmeyer led the most laps, but just didn't get that final run he hoped for. Tried to top it off on fuel. No one else ran out of fuel, just being passive there and just trying to save the fuel. Hopefully he can make the fuel mileage, but just picks up 7th tonight. Donnie Kite will pick up 8th for that same strategy. Cole Snyder in 9th and Dylan Chappell in 10th with both late race contact there for both those drivers. They both finished 1 lap down. Chase McGuire will finish 11th tonight. Early race incident. He still limped it around there for the rest of that race there, and still picks up 16 laps down in 11th. Mike Campbell in 12th. Josh Adams in 13th. Mark Kiswin in 14th. Hunter Senior rounds at top 15. Hunter Peach and Giovanni Klein in 16th and 17th, and rounding out our field here tonight. But up front, it was Jonathan Parker. No stranger to the front of the field, as we'll take it down to Pizza and Wings Gaming victory lane. Jonathan Parker able to win once again this season. How's it feel able to pick up another race win?
Yeah, feels great, and they've all come in very different circumstances. This one was stressful in a few miles since.
Yeah, that entire final run, you had that caution come out pretty much right at that perfect time to pretty much be a fuel mileage race. You had that 58 lap run to the finish, so expecting around probably about 56 on fuel. So just how tight was it there on fuel, and how much did you have enough? I don't even think you had enough to do a burnout. You just parked it right on the line.
Yeah, I was right on the number. None of that shenanigans that happens in real life where people think they're on the number and then they're out there doing crazy burnouts. I really only had enough to get the checker flag because when I was going just normal all out, I could only get 55 laps. So I had to really back it down, and I had to save a little bit of fuel in the first run. So I got good training for what ended up being the run to the checker flag, and I was just being easy, keeping it in 5th gear, and it's just like real life. They ate my dirty air, and as long as I didn't put a tire in the wrong place, I didn't get too loose or get too tight, I was going to be able to run basically whatever pace I was needed to do. So, yeah, definitely a very different circumstance than the other wins I've had this season, but they all count the same nonetheless.
Yeah, able to get another win of the season, extend your points lead in the final push to those playoffs. But before I send off on the way, any sponsors I think for tonight's race win?
I'd like to thank Lowe's for stepping aside, and so we could have this UPS throwback to Dale Jarrett back in 2002. I love this UPS car. I don't like Fords, so I'm never gonna say UPS. Put the F word there. I'm never gonna do that. But the UPS Chevy was really fast. Just dirty air was crazy tonight, but once we got out in clean air, I was able to go out there and run. It was great, and I'd like to thank Chad and Earl, Chad with the strategy, and I'd like to thank Jonathan Jorgensmeyer. I know he had a wicked fast car, and he had a little contact with Steven there that brought out that what ended up being the final caution. I'd like to give a shout out to Steven because he came all the way from, he started basically shotgun on the field, and he was able to go through the field a couple times. So big shout out to him too, and shout out to Christian Pacheco for being awesome and making this car. Because if it wasn't for him, I would be out here in a blank race car, and I don't think that would be fun for anyone at home watching. So shout out to him for helping me look a little bit better on race day.
And once again, congrats on your race win, and we'll see you next week at Las Vegas.
Thank you.
So that was Jonathan Parker, our race winner in Pizza and Wings Gaming Victory Lane. And we'll step away from the Victory Lane there. We'll bring in our second place finisher here in just a second. We'll bring in our second place finisher of Kyle Taub, able to chase. So we'll bring in now our second place finisher, Kyle Taub, who's a little bit farther back. He had a little bit of contact out in front of him, able to get up to second, and then he chased down Jonathan Parker, got down with about 3 or 4 tenths. What do you think you could have differently there late to maybe try and chase down and maybe try and find your way by around Jonathan Parker there late?
Well, maybe if you took the car, you narrowed it down, and then maybe increased the track surface so there was more clean air. The dirty air in these cars it's insane. Especially when you get to such a narrow track like Darlington. You would think that dirty air would do a little less of an impact from it here with the slower speeds, but it still hurt.
Unfortunately, you were able to find your way around the dirty air there, but you really had a solid run tonight, able to drive up to second. And that final run came down to fuel mileage there, so just kind of talk us through how close you were there, how were you able to save your fuel, because Jonathan Barker only had enough to just make it to the checker there. So how close were you on the fuel there?
I think pretty much everyone had just enough to get to the checkered. I was fine doing what I was doing, but the fuel strategy threw a little wrench into it. Couldn't drive the car like I wanted to drive the car throughout the rest of the race. So maybe if that wasn't a fuel mileage, it plays out differently, but who knows?
Yeah, but you're still able to pick up a solid second place finish in that 3 throwback machine. But before we stand up on the way, any sponsors like to thank for tonight's second place run?
Before I do that, I just want to say, just want to apologize to the 22. Kind of unfortunate circumstance there with netcode. Hate that happened. Running for second there on the final run. Glad to see that he was able to recover and get a good finish. Yeah. Shout out to the Juicy Spider guys. I did some practice with them this week, and kind of learned how to run Darlington from Josh Adams. Safe to say that his tips worked.
And once again, congrats on your second place run tonight. We'll see you next week at Las Vegas.
Thank you.
So Kyle Taub, that was our second place finisher there of Kyle Taub. We'll bring in our third place finisher of Steven Maggio. Steven Maggio not getting the qualifying you wanted. Ended up tapping the wall in turn number 1 and 2 there on your qualifying lap. But you still managed to battle it out through the night, able to drive your way through the field. So how are you able to drive your way and work your way up through the field and pick up a solid third place run tonight?
Yeah, we messed up qualifying. I didn't do any practice because I was making this paint scheme, and then I was like running late a little bit, so I missed practice, missed my qualifying lap, or messed it up, I mean, and then I got damaged right away on the start because someone was trying to avoid a wreck and hit the brakes right in front of me, and I got front end damage, which this is one of the worst tracks to get front end damage on. And I was really lucky we had that caution, and I was happy because I was like, man, if we go the whole race green with front end damage, I have zero chance to win. So then we had those cautions, and I was just trying to be patient because it's so hard to pass in this car at this track. You just really have to wait for the guy in front of you to mess up. And then when when JP accidentally air packed Donnie a little bit, it let me and Jurg get to 1-2, and I got to his outside, and I was pretty aggressive, but I felt like I had to because the clean air was so important, and it just didn't work out. We met at the end of turn 2, and that gave me damage, so I couldn't hold the lead. And after that, it was just JP is too good to make a mistake that would cost him that win. Pretty much all I had to do is just save enough fuel and not make any major mistakes, and he had that one won. So third's all right. Would have liked to win, but overall it was a fun race.
Yeah, still like a solid third place finish there, and just kind of talk us through that final run. It was actually our longest run of the night, right at the very end. So you had to save your tires, save fuel as well. So just kind of talk us through how much different that last run is compared to the others.
Yeah, I didn't mind. I wish it was like 3 laps shorter, because I loved that we had to like save tires over the course of a really long run, but I hated that we had to save fuel, because when I was saving fuel, it just you don't drive the car the same, so you end up with different tire wear. Like I ended up with way more right front tire wear when I was saving, because I was trying to. Admittedly, I probably did it wrong. A lot of other people will let off, like down the straightaway and like trail or like just let off a tiny bit, and then they take the turn normally. But I was clutching, and you don't get the engine like rotating the car a little bit, so I was just sitting on the right front a lot more when I was on the clutch, and that just killed my right front. So just kind of really couldn't do anything after that, even when I tried to push.
Yeah, but you're still able to pick up a solid third place finish, especially in the track position dominant racetrack. You're able to drive your way from the tail end of the field, able to pick up a really solid third place run despite those circumstances. Before you send it up on your way, any sponsored link for tonight's third place run.
Yeah, shout out you guys doing the broadcast. I'm sure it was a great watch. I'll go back and watch it, and shout out Josh Arnold for running the league and allowing me to put my number on the quarter panel tonight, even though it's not normally you're supposed to do that, but he gave me permission, so that was really cool of him. And shout out JP on the win, and Jurg. We had a fun battle there. I usually am in the voice chat with JP and Jurg, but I wasn't tonight. But I still consider them my teammates and race them like teammates, so that's about it.
So once again, congrats on your top 3 finish. We'll see you next week in Las Vegas.
Thank you. Have a good one.
So that was our 3rd place finisher of Steven Maggio. Rounds out our podium finish for tonight. And that will lead us into our show here from Darlington. And it was definitely a fun one tonight. Came down to fuel miles. You saw some good, solid, long runs at the start. Had a few cautions, had a few incidents. But eventually, it was Jonathan Parker able to take the checkered flag and win at Parker and Pizza and Wings victory lane once again. But it was definitely a fun one here from Darlington. But next week, they'll be going back to Las Vegas for the 2nd time this season, just for a slightly longer race, as we'll go to Las Vegas next week for the 3rd to last race of the regular season. And there'll be Homestead and Auto Club to round out the regular season for the Season 6. And we'll have a 9-race playoff to round out the NAOR Cup Series Season 6. But before we get to Las Vegas next week, coming up next here on the Legends Racing Network, on Thursday night, we'll have the Undisputed Cup Series at Homestead at 8:50 p.m. Eastern Time for their championship finale. And we'll see who will be crowned the champion for the Undisputed Cup Series on Thursday night. And we'll see you next week here for the NAOR Cup Series at Las Vegas on Friday night for the NAOR Cup Series. But it was definitely a fun one here from Darlington. I'm Aaron Brown. So long here from Darlington. We'll see you next time here on the Legends Racing Network.